Hello guys, this is Trinity Storm here and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a short movie on what if Hinata died because of Naruto. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Hinata walked into her father's study, her shoulders slumped in defeat. She had been directed to come here immediately after class. She had no idea why she had been summoned, but it could only be bad. Her father had been paying her less and less attention since her mother died. When he did notice her, it was almost always to remind her of some flaw or weakness. She couldn't recall the last time he praised her. As she walked through the hall leading to her father's study, various cadet branch members bowed to her before continuing on their way to whatever task awaited them. Members of the main branch didn't seem to notice her. She was ostensibly the heir, but she was treated as if she were completely unnecessary. She was frail and shy, and she was a total letdown. They were already discussing her sister Hanabi taking her place as heir. So she wasn't surprised to find her father in conversation with Hyuga Hideki, a main branch elder. Even though her father had summoned her, he had apparently forgotten. She took her place outside his door, waiting. She would stay there until her father noticed her. She hadn't come to overhear his conversation or spy on him. The door was partially open, and Hideki was talking loudly. "I tell you, Hiyashi-san, it's a disgrace," Hideki exclaimed loudly. "That monster has no business being trained at the academy. It's insulting that he's in the same class as a Hyuga Mina branch member." "What is he on about?" Hinata was perplexed. "I understand," her father said calmly. "But it is the Hokage's decision. I have no control over the situation." "Uzumaki Naruto," the elder mockingly said. "It should be in a cage or an urn." Hinata smirked. This was not the first time she'd heard such animosity toward Naruto. On the contrary, she'd noticed how people looked at him with cold, unforgiving eyes time and again. They always shunned him and made him an outcast. She couldn't figure out why. Yes, he could be a little loud at times and lacked the social graces that most people expected. But, as an orphan, it was understandable. What could he have possibly done to deserve such widespread contempt? "He is what he is, Hideki," her father said calmly. "I am concerned because of what he is. Being the Kyuubi's container means you're always in danger." "What?" Hinata exclaimed. The two adults came to a halt. A split second later, the door burst open, and Hinata noticed both of them staring down at her. "What exactly are you doing here?" Hideki inquired sternly. Before she could respond, her father spoke up. "I invited her to come here so I could express my disappointment with her continued lack of progress," Hiyashi stated. "That, on the other hand, will have to wait." "Hinata, what did you just hear?" Looking up into her father's stern face, she swallowed. Hideki-san mentioned that Uzumaki Naruto was the Kyuubi's container. But that's not possible. The Kyuubi was assassinated by the Yondaime Hokage, as everyone knows. The two adults exchanged an uneasy look. Hideki had inadvertently broken one of the Hokage's laws. "Please leave us alone now, Hideki. I need to talk to my daughter." "Certainly, Hiyashi-san." When she was brought into her father's study, she was forced to stand in front of his desk like a client looking for an audience. He sat down and grimaced at her. She resisted the strong urge to press her fingers together, knowing that it would only enrage him. "Hinata," he said, his voice stiff and formal. "I don't want you to remember what you just heard." "But, father, why?" "I'm not sure what you mean." He sighed and clasped his hands in front of his face. "I will explain, but only so that you understand the gravity of the situation. The Yondaime Hokage did not murder the Kyuubi. Even the legendary Yellow Flash could not defeat the monster. Instead, the beast was transformed into a newborn baby," Hinata exclaimed. "And Naruto-kun?" That resulted in a frown from her. "Naruto-kun?" Hiyashi imitated. "Do you have any sort of relationship with that boy?" Hinata felt her face flush as she looked down at her feet. "No, father," she stated quietly. "I've never spoken with him, but I admire him. Even though he is alone and everyone mocks him, he believes in himself and never gives up no matter how difficult things become." "That is admirable," Hiyashi acknowledged. "He suffers because many in this village, including Hideki, regard him simply as the Kyuubi and blame him for all of the monsters' deaths." "But he isn't, is he? Naruto could never be the Kyuubi." "No," Hiyashi said emphatically. "He is the container rather than the thing itself." Many people, however, refuse to comprehend this. "Personally, I do not hold the boy responsible for what happened to him. The Yondaime was forced to sacrifice himself and a newborn in order to save the village. Naruto is a hero in the same way that the Yondaime is. But I suspect that only the Hokage sees it that way. That's why Naruto-kun is treated so poorly," Hinata explained. "It's unjust, father. It is unjust to make him an outcast and punish him for something that was not his fault. We must take action." Hiyashi raised an eyebrow at his timid daughter's unusual display of passion. "That is not our concern." "But, father." "Enough, Hinata," he said coldly. "I only told you this so you could understand the gravity of what you overheard. You should also be aware that the Hokage enacted a special law concerning the existence of the Kyuubi within Naruto. No one who knows about it is permitted to discuss it with anyone who does not. This includes the youngster himself. This law carries a death penalty if broken. Do you get it now, Hinata? You are not permitted to discuss this with anyone. If you do, you will be executed. Is that what you're saying?" She nodded her head slowly. "I understand, father. Then you may leave." The show was coming to an end, and she was being dismissed. She trudged back to her room, her mind racing with the thought of Naruto being forced to bear such a massive burden. It was something he'd had no say over, much like her own birth as the Hyuga clan's heir. Whereas she was treated with respect, at least by those outside the Mina branch, Naruto was treated as a pariah by everyone. Even his classmates avoided him, no doubt influenced by their parents' beliefs. That was not right. If he was going to be held accountable for such a burden, he deserved to be treated fairly. That thought lingered in her mind and refused to leave. She watched Naruto from a safe distance for the next few weeks, as she usually did. She did it now, however, with a better understanding of the situation. She saw blatant prejudice when the instructors refused to pay him any attention or answer his questions. She saw ignorance when the other kids refused to interact with him except to mock him. She could see his pain when he ate or sat alone on the swing. She yearned to be his friend and alleviate his pain, but she always held back. She was constantly worried that her father would find out and order her not to speak to or interact with him. So she sat back day after day, a silent observer, watching this terrible injustice unfold in front of her. She assumed the Hokage's law was intended to protect Naruto and allow him to be treated normally. However, it merely allowed him to become an outcast without his classmates knowing why. Hinata became more convinced of his treatment as she witnessed more of it. Then, one day during recess, after yet another failed attempt to ask Sakura out, she glared at him and yelled at the top of her lungs. "Will you just give it up already, you stupid baka? You were disliked by everyone." "No one. That is not correct." Naruto fired back. "Fine," Sakura said, a nasty and triumphant air on her face. She looked around at the other children. "Does anyone like him here?" The majority of the other children burst out laughing. Sasuke ignored it, as he did most things. Shikamaru frowned, but figured it would be too much trouble to get involved in. Naruto began to cry as he looked around at everyone else who was laughing at him. "Put it down." All eyes were drawn to Hinata, who was normally invisible. Everyone was surprised to see her not only getting involved in this, but also looking quite fearsome. "He appeals to me," she declared loudly, stunning everyone. "No one knows this better than Naruto." Sakura stood there with her mouth agape. What are you on about? Everyone knows he's a troublemaker. My mother stated. Shut up, Hinata yelled in a rare fit of rage. Your mother is racist, and you are illiterate. Sakura choked, unable to believe what she was hearing. Hinata noticed Naruto's wide eyes staring at her. She noticed that everyone was staring at her. She knew this was her one and only chance to truly assist him. If she didn't do it right away, her courage would fail her and she would never do it again. She was aware of the cost but was unconcerned. It was worth it if she could make a genuine difference in his life, if she could assist him. Would you like to know why your parents are all so cruel to him? She insisted. It's because the Kyuubi lives within him. The Yondaime Hokage did not kill the Kyuubi. Instead, he imprisoned him within Naruto. That is why everyone treats him so badly. It's for something he didn't choose. For something that happened to him when he was a baby. He protects the village from the nine-tailed demon fox, and he deserves to be regarded as a hero. The children were silent and staring, unsure what to say or do. That's not true, Naruto said quietly. You're a liar, Hinata. That cannot possibly be true. She bowed deeply and turned to face him, eliciting a shocked murmur. The children had all been raised to understand social status. Hinata was the heir to one of Konoha's most powerful clans, no matter how quiet and unassuming she was. Naruto was an orphan with no ancestors. Hinata openly bowing to him was as surprising as her revelation. Naruto-kun, I'm sorry I had to do it this way. Please accept my apologies. I should have told you the truth first, but if I hadn't said it now, I would never have. My courage would have let me down. There is a special law that states that no one may reveal this secret. I will be executed as a result of what I just said. Executed? Naruto spoke softly. She stood there nodding. She felt strangely at ease now that it was over. A couple of the academy instructors were hurrying over to her, their faces solemn. So, why did you say that? He insisted. Because I like you, she explained. You are courageous and strong, and you never give up no matter how difficult things become. Naruto, I've always admired and liked you. Whatever the circumstances, she was glad she'd gotten the chance to tell him. She looked around at the others. Please treat him fairly now that you know the truth. Don't be mean to him just because your parents want you to. Please consider him a hero, as I do. Chunin instructors rested their hands on her shoulders. Enough, Hinata, one of them said coldly. Come along with us. The rest of you should go home. Class has been cancelled for the remainder of the day. Hey! Naruto yelled. Where do you intend to take Hinata-chan? Hinata knew it was ridiculous, but hearing him acknowledge her and address her as Chan made it all worthwhile. Adieu, Naruto-kun. May you live a long and happy life. As Naruto yelled after her, she left with the instructors without a fight. I need to speak with you, old man. Naruto stormed into the Hokage's office, only to find Hyuga Hiyashi and a solemn Sarutobi already there. Come in, Naruto, he sighed. I understand what this is all about. Does it sound true? He demanded unequivocally. Is it true that I am the Kyuubi? Is Hinata really going to be put to death? You are not the Kyuubi, Naruto, but he is contained within you. Naruto looked completely betrayed as he stared at the Hokage. How? How could you have not told me? What I did, Naruto, was not only for your benefit, but also for the benefit of the village. I had every intention of telling you once you graduated and became a ninja. I tried to keep the secret in order to protect you and give you a chance at a normal life. And how about Hinata? He posed a challenge. You're not going to kill her, are you? This is Hyuga Hiyashi, Hinata's father, Naruto. He has also come to request clemency on her behalf. Lord Hokage, Hiyashi said in an unusually pleading tone. He'd used it the last time he was arguing against his brother Hazashi's sacrifice. I am fully aware of my daughter's transgression. Please allow me to take her place. She is stupid and frail, but she is my child. Hiashi stunned the Hokage and young Naruto by kneeling and prostrating himself. "I beg you, Lord Hokage, let me be punished instead of Hinata." Sarutobi looked downcast at the man. "Hiashi, please get up. I sincerely apologize, but there is nothing I can do in this situation." "What exactly are you on about, old man?" Naruto yelled. "You're not going to kill Hinata just for telling the truth. She is to be killed because she knowingly broke a law," Naruto, the Hokage stated emphatically. "I might have been able to look the other way and pretend ignorance if she had been more discreet. However, she purposefully informed your entire class in a public setting. This is too important for me to ignore. But she's only a child." He sobbed. "She's a wonderful person. Laws must apply to everyone or they aren't laws," Naruto. According to the Hokage. He was sympathetic and clearly unhappy with the situation, but he persisted without remorse. "Would it be fair if I executed another man for breaking the law but spared her when she acted knowingly?" His head shook. "To be considered just, it must apply to all. I apologize." And no matter how hard Naruto pleaded, the Hokage was unmoved. Hinata faced her execution with the poise and dignity that one would expect from a Hyuga heiress. She was every bit the Hyuga she had never been in life, at least in death. Naruto went to class the next day, broken-hearted. He couldn't figure out why she'd done it. Except for the old man, no one was ever kind to him. Why would someone go to such lengths for his sake? He wished with all his heart that she hadn't told him and the others, and instead had simply been a friend to him. When he walked into the classroom, all eyes were on him. He swallowed and braced himself, knowing that they would all blame him for what had occurred and despise him even more. "Hey, dead last," said Uchiha Sasuke. "You're well aware that your taijutsu is terrible. Why don't we team up during sparring and I'll assist you?" Naruto looked at him, perplexed. Sasuke never attempted to assist anyone. He'd never said anything to him except to insult or belittle him. Shikamaru said, "Hey Naruto. Would you like to go cloud watching with me and Choji later? How about you go flower picking with me sometime, Naruto?" With a kind smile, Ino inquired. "Would you like to come over to my house?" Kiba was invited. "You're welcome to come play with the puppies. If you want, we can go into the forest and collect insects," Shino said flatly. This actually frightened Naruto. Sakura approached him and bowed. "I apologize for being so cruel to you all this time, Naruto-kun. I still won't go on a date with you because I'm in love with Sasuke-kun, but we can be friends if you want." Naruto stood there, speechless. He had anticipated that they would all despise him. Sasuke appeared to understand and responded on their behalf. "Hinata requested that we treat you as a hero, and we will do so. You didn't deserve to be singled out for something that was never your fault, and she was right. We'll make amends for how the rest of the village treats you." All of the students agreed by nodding their heads. Naruto was never alone again after that. After 10 years. As he did every week, the 6th Hokage entered the Hyuga compound and went to the family gravesite. He held a bouquet of white lilies that his wife Ino had chosen for him. Sasuke, his best friend, accompanied him as he often did. He hoped Hinata was watching and happy for him as he laid the flowers at the grave. He had made every effort to live not only a long and happy life, but also an exemplary one. He felt obligated to repay the person who had given him so much. In silent prayer, he slapped his hands together and bowed his head. "Hinata-chan, I will never forget you."
That's it for today. If you enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.